All right, all right, all right. We are here, everyone. Happy holidays. Can you guys believe the holiday season is upon us? It is like now, it is here. I don't know. I keep thinking it's like so far away, and it's not so far away. It's like right now, right? I don't know. It's just crazy. And where I am right now, it's like a little chilly. It was I think 33 walking the dogs this morning, and it's starting to definitely feel like winter. I just don't know if it feels like true holiday yet. How about for you guys? Are you feeling like it's true holiday? Did it come too fast? Um, I don't know. I'm trying to adjust my camera, you guys, and I'm having a little problem. I think it's better. Is it better? I hope it's better. So hey, I thought I would do some recap, all right? We're gonna be doing some just holiday recap from kind of the not only this past year, but over the past like several years. Like in the past several years, what has helped me kind of like live my best life, right? Like what are the 10 things that I feel like has made me have a successful, not only year, but I would say the past 10 years, honestly, about the past 10 years. But with that, I will tell you that every single year I have growth. Every single year I'm doing something more. Every single year I'm like, unraveling another like layer of myself per se to see, am I living my best self? Who am I? Can I get better? Are there areas of my life I need to improve upon? Those are things that I reevaluate on a regular basis, but definitely on a yearly basis. And so I hope you do too. And I hope some of my tips, this is one of my mentors that he shared with us, his 10 kind of, top things that help him stay on his A game, all per se. And that's what I want. Like, what are the things consistently that move the needle in our life forward? And sometimes we don't hear about behind the scenes. We don't really know what we do. And we've all got some things that are like, oh gosh, those are some not great, maybe attributes or habits or things that I do, or I'm too busy. But in general, in order to say I lived my life fully, right? We're always going to have struggles and hardships, but that's what makes everything even better is kind of moving through all of that. So I hope this helps you guys maybe reflect and journal on what was made yours successful. And maybe you're like, man, I did not have a successful year. I need to implement a few of Kellie's things, or I need to figure out what I'm going to implement of my things. Okay, so here we go, you guys. The number one thing for me is, I'll say, is exercise. And when I say exercise, exercise for me has been a way of life since I've been young. I mean, I can remember when I was 5 and 6 years old, like running the mile at my elementary school and running with my dad. I always liked movement. So it came really natural to me. And as an adult, I've ebbed and flowed, meaning I used to work out much harder. I think many of you ladies out there in my generation were like the aerobics queens, right? So it was aerobics, it was running, and it was cycling, and it was hours, it was aerobics. Now, as I'll say, I'm a midlife woman. Yes, I am. I realize that that only is going to drive my cortisol up and keep me in fight or flight, and that doesn't serve me in my longevity and my health. So I regularly go to yoga 2 to 3 times a week, pretty regular. I still love running. I don't think I'll ever give it up, but I used to run, half marathons and triathlons and marathons, and I would, every day, if I didn't go for a run, I'd be like the angry mom, right? I had to go for my run to release it. At least I thought I did. And I would pound out 5 or 6 miles a day. Now, twice a week, I go run 3 miles. I love it. It's my jam. It's my cardiovascular health that we all need. And then the other couple days, I lift, right? I do some strength training. Sometimes I do a little bit of HIIT training with that, but I'm really working on the organ of my optimal metabolic health and my longevity, which is my muscle mass. So exercise and movement is absolutely key, and it's whatever level of is for you in your life. And I think some of you who can't get outside very often or don't want to spend money going to places, like, get a walking pad and walk. On top of what I do, I've got a walking pad that after I eat my meals, I walk. During the day when I'm listening to stuff, I get walk. Like, it is amazing to get those extra steps in for your life. So if you already know what are some things key for you and you staying in your best life or best health or what you're doing, I'd love for you to write them down, share with everybody else. If you're here with me on social media, drop them down, because people are like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to implement that, right? If we can all share a little bit more. And if you're listening on the podcast, send me a message. I'd love to hear from you about what makes you tick and what you feel like really keeps you at your best. So hands down for me, movement, movement, movement. The second thing is sleep. I made a drastic change because if anybody out there is a mom and has young kids or has had kids, period, it's like you wake up to the littlest sound. And for me now, I don't have kids at home. They're all either on their own or grown or college, but I have 3 dogs. So I hear them walk. I hear sounds. I hear maybe my husband snoring. But on top of just that light sleeper, I realized I needed to prepare my body for sleep. And I also know I was only getting more like 7 hours of sleep. And what I found when I really allowed myself to optimize my sleep routine is I'm an 8.5 to 9 hour sleeper. That's where I feel my best. So in order to do that, I got to watch when I go to bed. I got to have this wind down routine. I got to have this great sleep routine. So I'm getting my deep restorative sleep. And then the wake up routine, right? Like lighten your eyes, get your body moving because you want your serotonin to eventually convert later in the day to the evening to melatonin and all of the things that our body can do so beautifully, but you got to give it the right routines to feed it to allow our bodies to make stuff. And you're not always taking a gazillion supplements. So I've got a sleep routine. I don't wear it all the time, but if I need to, I've got an eye mask, I've got earplugs so I can sleep deep, sleeping with the room cold, but I've got my sleep pretty dialed in. So that would be number 2. If you don't have your sleep dialed in, you'll never feel your best. You really need to improve upon that sleep. The third thing, and I preach this so much, is drinking plenty of water. When we sleep at night, we get dehydrated. So you must start bringing in that water immediately upon getting up. And if you drink 16 to 20 ounces of water immediately upon getting up, that will boost your metabolism by 30 to 40% for the first several hours of the day. Like, that's a big deal. Several hours of the day, it's going to boost your metabolism. Cool, right? So in general, throughout the day, like I've got water in the morning, I've got my glass water bottle, this is my nootropic that I'm drinking. Sometimes I'm drinking, decaf tea, drinking more, but really get hydrated, really important. And I know I do that pretty well. I would say it's one of my things I do well. I don't have to work at it very much. It's just part of my day, part of my routine, part of who I am. So that's 3. So movement, sleep, water. Number 4, I tell you guys, to feel your best, you can't overeat. I've never been an overeater, which has been a saving grace to me, right? I don't gorge myself. I don't overconsume a lot. Now, sometimes you're like, oh my God, that meal was so good. I should have only eaten half on my plate or 2/3 of my plate. Does it occasionally happen? Absolutely. But in general, we don't need that much food. You've got to be sure you're having your protein. And this is not a talk for all of that, right? Of nutrition, but don't overeat. Honestly, overeating will kill us. So for longevity, don't overeat, you guys. That's just build that into your life, build that into your routine. And maybe you guys need some help on that area. I definitely know a handful of my friends, even myself, that have gone on GLP-1 have found that it really helps to not overeat, be satiated, not have cravings. It's helped me in so many other ways. Again, not a talk for today, but that could be something to consider if overeating is really something that you struggle with. Okay, so overeating was 4. Do not overeat. 5. I didn't do this 10, 12 years ago, but over the last, you know, 10 years, I've slowly implemented mindfulness and meditation into my life. And over the past couple years, it has been my savior to go from the hustle and grind, wearing the badge of busyness, doing it all. Oh, I work and I take my kids here and I do this and I help my in-laws and I work in the community and, right? And I thought that was so cool. That was the worst thing I could have been doing for myself. Now I realize I don't have to do it all. I do what serves me. I do what brings me joy. I do what I feel like my body is chosen and I want to do, not what I have to do or should do. We should not be living in the should world, and really being more mindful about everything, about the type of exercise, where I want to travel, my behavior with kids, how I want to communicate, where I want my business to be, where I want my marriage to be. Like, these are things that I really am mindful and meditate. And walking in nature is something that is part of my mindfulness practice. And it's usually me like walking my dogs and I'm not listening to a podcast or something else. I'm just letting myself be, because how often do we just let ourselves be, right? Be present, be this I am person. So, if you haven't had a practice of that, I know people are like, oh, I can't sit still. I can't quiet my mind. That's not the point. The point is to just release the busyness of the world and come home to yourself. Okay. The brain's job is to think. So you're not going to like just have no thoughts going. That's crazy. Okay. So that's 5. Let me give you the next 5. The next one that I thought I didn't have a problem with, and I don't say problem is like not the right word, but I think each and every one of us always have a little behind, the scenes chirping of what others think of us. And what has really helped me is the last 3 to 5 years, I've been able to release what other people think of me, because it's not for me. I like whatever they think is their opinion, their world, what is in their life and how they've developed their thinking patterns. So that's not for me to judge. I do me, they do them. I don't care what other people think. They don't run my household. They're not in my marriage. They don't take care of my children. They don't pay my bills. So I've released that. And that has been one of the biggest gifts. If we can, like, I wear this because I want to wear pink. Somebody else might say they hate pink. Somebody else, it doesn't matter. Just let go of what other people think. All right, that is 6. That really brings me like a better Kellie, is being able to do so. Number 7, and this really goes hand in hand, is, every morning we can choose a lot of things. We can choose what to eat, what to wear. We can choose how we want to feel. And every single day, when I'm getting up, really even before I'm out of bed, I choose to feel joy and happiness and ease and flow, because we can. The other day, my husband and I were talking, and, his football team he loves was losing badly. And he's like, long ago, when my team would lose, I'd be pissed. And I'd be pissed for like the rest of the day. He's like, why should I let the behavior and the outcome of a football game that I'm not even playing have any say in how I feel and how I show up, right? Why do we do that? But we bring in other things that cause us to feel and act and behave in a certain way. Like, no, just choose whatever that is for you. Love, peace, flow, ease, joy. I love joy. I love the day to be delightful. I love to live extraordinary. I love to live big and full and juicy and playful and fun. And that's what I choose. So how do you choose to show up and feel every day is your choice. All right, we're going down the list, you guys. So choose joy was 7 for me. Number 8 is my communication with other people. And I say that by, it's just not like, I don't just have friends because like they were my random in my life. I choose to be around and communicate with amazing individuals in my life. I choose that. I'm in other programs and masterminds, and I have other coaches that I want to always get better. So I choose this high level of communication, clarity, friendships with others because I can. Like, just because you live in an area that maybe these people aren't your vibe, they don't all have to be your friends. Go find your friends. Go find people that lift you up, raise you up. And that's what I've done. I think in my younger years, it was just whoever was around me in my life, whatever, like maybe the parents were of the events my kids were in, and there's all these other parents around that then you just become friends with all the parents, right? Now you choose who you want them to be, in the people that you can communicate and enrich your life. I'm always looking for the next person that's going to elevate my life, the next group that's going to support me. And we get to choose that. And I think by doing that, it's helped me always go, Kellie, what's in your best interest? What's going to help you be better? What's going to push you more? So I don't know, but I love that. I love that. My last two I really love. Number 9 has taken a work in progress, and it's been able to be here for me now because of the place my husband and I are in our life. And that's having dinner together. When we were raising children and we had children living in 2 counties and we were all over the place, and it was soccer, football, band practice. Oh my gosh, I've got to go volunteer here. It was like life was crazy. It was so hard to sit down together. And then it was like, oh, I haven't worked out yet. I'm going to the gym. Okay, I'm going to eat now. You eat then. We did our best. The older our children got, the more to kind of come back, sit down, be together. But I tell you, we were also living in the rat race and the hustle and grind. And even if I cooked for everyone, we weren't always sitting down together. And this past year, my husband and I, 90% of the time or more, sit down together for dinner. And we like debrief and have, talk about our day and talk about what was good and just express to each other that we care for each other, right? And have that moment. So that really, I feel, has elevated our lives. So I don't know if you guys do that, but it's really been really lovely. Like I said, some of these things I've done for years and others I've recently pulled more into our life. And my number 10, which I think if we all really know, whenever we want to get better at something, you have a coach, a mentor. And personal development for me has become a way of life. You want somebody chirping in your ear, not the news, not social media, but somebody feeding you, fueling you, positivity, what you can do, motivation, inspiration, dedication, how to unleash the next level of ourselves. And I take personal development so seriously. So I'm on an app, I'm reading a book, I've got audio, I'm in masterminds, I'm taking full control of me by really making personal development a way of life. So I don't know if you guys make personal development a way of life or not. I know the easiest way is I use Growth Day. It's an app that every single morning I get a little, daily reminder, and I get weekly motivation and education and inspiration and so much more inside that app. But those are kind of my 10. So I would love to know what your 10 are. Maybe you've got only 2 or 3 or 4, and maybe you're like, I've never even thought about that, Kellie. So I'm asking you guys to go. I would really love for you guys to make a post, do your 10, tag me on it. I want to know. If you are watching here down in the chat, I want you to put of my 10, what are yours? Maybe you have some that are the same as mine. Maybe yours are totally different. I don't really know. And if you're listening to this on a podcast and maybe you're doing dishes or you're out for a walk or driving something, come back and really sit with this of, wow, I want 2025 to be great, better, more delightful, more extraordinary. So then what would your 10 be? How do you want to live your life so that you're stacking the odds in your success to have the best year yet? So I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys always for following. I want all of you guys to remember that you are in charge of your health. I always say, become the CEO of your health. And I'm just going to end with, I have something for each and every one of you guys that I and Dr. Heidi Aratzabal behind the scenes have put together. We have a brand new membership that you can be a part of, her and I together every single week, getting training, education, questions answered for your health by a naturopath, a functional medicine doctor, a high performance health coach, with guest experts coming in to support you in all sorts of women's health topics. And I will tell you, when we talk about collaborating with like minded individuals, you want to be around people that all want to be in the best health. And this is the place. So if you have questions, if you want more, reach out to me, let me know. We start at the beginning of the year, but we do have a founding member price going on right now. I would love to see you inside it. Drop me down a little message. Drop me down, if you're on my social media, drop down the word restore. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, go down in the show notes. You're going to hear lots of good, juicy details all about Restore. But you can be a founding member if you enroll before January 15th. So don't wait. The holidays are here. It's going to get a busy, super time. I don't want you to forget. So go enroll today. So again, in the comments, just drop down Restore and I'll give you all the info that you need. All right. Cheers to a fantastic day, everyone. Bye, Facebook family.